Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we have another quick battle, this time versus the Vampire Counts, and I'm bringing my trusty Empire. Um, definitely a different build from me this time, sort of. Still has this main line here of Swordsman with the Warrior Priest in support. They have increased the cost of his leadership buff by a ton, which I think is probably a good move. So now he costs about like 450 something, um, and so definitely more expensive. Um, Definitely less cost effective now, but still I think useful to bring, especially when I'm going to be flying around with my heroes a bunch. And so my heroes are Boris Todbringer and an Amber Wizard. And I brought these guys on Griffin so I could have some mobile hitting power. And my final hero here is this Light Wizard on foot, in the middle of these Demogryph Knights who are facing the wrong way. And I brought this guy. Um, does this not? Why is this music not on? Oh well, whatever. So here we have our Demogryph Knights. I brought one of these guys with halberds to deal with any monsters that tried to come down on my heroes in my main line. I have 2 spearmen on each side, 2 in the back. I have 2 Free Company militia, and these guys are close to deal with zombie spawns and cryptors. Over here I do have a unit of handgunners a little farther back, and then behind them I have the magic bullets. The silver bullets who do magic damage. And so I brought kind of this as like a surprise, like, hey, you get into contact, and then you realize that, hey, I have actually 2 rows of handgunners you have to somehow deal with. And I've set up a formation that kind of makes it look like I don't have anything back here. So lots of gunpowder support, lots of ability to kill large creatures, and now I'm really just worried about this main line here. But if we go check out our enemy, he's got a very semi-cheap. He's got 2 Graveguard, 1 on each flank, 2 Skeleton Warriors, and the Königstein Stalkers here. So these guys are poisonous skeleton swordsmen. Behind them, he's got 2 Cryptors who will apply poison to these 2 kind of areas. And then he's got a Banshee, Vlad von Karstein, and then a huge expense in 3 Blood Knights. Just like, holy cow, this is not what I was expecting at all against the Empire. But here you are. He also has one of these Skeleton Spearmen on each... Well, he just has 1 Skeleton Spearman over here. He does have a Banshee and Vlad. So we'll get started here. Once I get information here, I'm going to be moving up, but I kind of wanted to get these demigryphs facing the right way first. And I'm just going to be sending my heroes out here to scout. No harm in that. He doesn't have any flying troops. I can kind of posture these guys wherever they want, and then it's just something for him to worry about, which is great. And one of the great things about this Light Wizard is he actually gives a debuff to all vampire units. Can we find it? There, -4, discouraged by ability. So he gives all of these units on the map -4 leadership. So definitely a strong bonus to bring the Light Wizard. And you're going to see just how quickly some of these units rout. But the problem with the vampires is they don't rout. They only take a little bit of damage. And they can definitely still stay in the fight even when their leadership hits the floor. And so my poor spearmen here are going to get my poor swordsmen here are going to get slaughtered, but you know, that's their point. We can kind of watch these lines posture up. I'm definitely worried about these Blood Knights. Definitely have to be worried about where I land my heroes. With this much anti-large on the field, my heroes are definitely threatened. And I'm definitely going to have to use my Demigryph Knights defensively to try and keep these guys out from my backlines. And my juicy ranged, massive amount of ranged contingent that I brought with me to this battle. So you can see here, issuing all his charge orders. Bullets aren't going to do very much to those Skeleton Warriors, but whatever. And I should be retargeting them to the Cryptors soon. You can see fire coming in. So these Cryptors come in. And I'm going to be dropping a net right here to try and catch these guys. but I'm going to be a little slow. And so you're going to see they're going to get caught, but they are going to engage my front line, which is definitely not what I wanted. So my free company militia are now kind of obstructed. They don't have as good of a shot, but they can still shoot, you can see. You can see over here that already these Crypt Horrors are down to very little, but there is a great Invocation of Nehek, and he's just going to charge his Blood Knight straight in here. And this was something I did not expect. And you can see it's doing significant damage here to my swordsman. I do kind of catch these Blood Knights in the remains of the net, but the net wasn't a overcast one, so it's over pretty quick. Here comes the Banshee. He's going to come through, try and deal with my Light Wizard. But now that there's something in my back lines to attack, I'm not so nervous about dropping my heroes down, because I have so much support. So I'm going to be dropping my heroes in here to help deal with the Banshee. And I'm going to start trying to move my handgunners out of the way so these silver bullets can take some pot shots. You can see just how devastating these charges through their own troops are being with these Blood Knights. Where I could zone them out, kind of with my Spearmen, I can't really zone them out of my front line. So you're going to see some great damage. You can see I've already dealt with the Crypt Horrors, but this one is still in the game, even though it was kind of critical binding. I was shooting at it, still in the game. Here, you see I kind of have opened up my Silver Bullets line on the Banshee, so it's going to be doing a ton of damage here. But he does get an Invocation of Nehek. But you can see there he dropped it on the Banshee, so he's actually not going to get it on a lot of his own troops here, which is good for me. I'm flanking around here with some extra excess Spearmen. And my Demigryph Knights are in here in the middle, helping out. And this is not looking good. There's a lot of Blood Knights here in the middle. But I am going to get a nice extended net on this guy. And so I believe I get all three of those Blood Knights. 1, 2, 3. So all three of his Blood Knights here are now stuck. They're not going to be able to chase my heroes, and they're not going to, more importantly, be able to chase my Silver Bullets. So really lucky that my opponent decided to all jump through the middle here, and that my net was off cooldown. So you can see I'm going to be getting some great shots in here against these Blood Knights. But the benefit of this is he can get that Invocation of Nehek in. Here I finally do get my Spearmen in the back, so that's going to be great. And my handgunners here are just kind of opening fire as they wish. My heroes are in there just trying to do whatever they can while they still have a chance. Demigryph Knights, you can see, losing decisively. So not looking good here too much. Or not looking too good for me here. You can see I do have some really nice crossfire into these Blood Knights. And you can see I'm doing considerable damage. They are kind of stuck on my heroes and my Demigryph Knights. But these Blood Knights, of course, are going to eventually get in here and do some great damage. You can see over here I pulled my free company around to the side and was shooting into these Graveguard. I didn't realize these were Graveguard. This is probably not the best use of these guys, just because they don't have any armor-piercing damage. So they're not actually going to be doing too much damage to these Graveguard. But anything I can do to help this fight is going to be okay, and shooting them in the back prevents them from using that shield against me. So here, finally, the other Blood Knights are going to get into my Silver Bullets, and there's nothing really I can do to stop them. My Spearmen are kind of behind them more, but I do have some Free Company Militia who are now going to be opening fire. But again, lack of armor-piercing damage. But I got really lucky, and I'm going to net these guys again. So definitely, probably very frustrating for my opponent here, as my archers, my ranged troops continue to fire in. My Silver Bullets line up. But you can see not an overcasted one, so it's going to be over pretty soon. And I'm just trying to rout these guys. And if I can get them in a critical binding, they'll just like die faster. So that's all good with me. Over here, he does get a great cast of these zombies over here, and they're going to obstruct my militia from firing. And Boris is in the middle of this fight with Blood Knights, and this is not something I want. But I do have these Silver Bullets right here, so that is going to help slightly. But again, just spawning these zombies as close as you can, and I'm not going to be able to stick around here. I think I'll get one volley in. Come on, guys. Before the zombies get you. Yeah, so one volley in there. It's going to do some good damage. You can see my Amber Wizard over here tanking out these Skeleton Warriors and these Konigstein Stalkers. Not really the best spot for her, or for him. But you can see here, it's not looking good. A lot of my troops are routing off the field. I do have some reserves coming in. One of my biggest assets here is actually Boris Todbringer. He's at very good health. But he, of course, has his Vlad at very good health. So, yeah, not looking good. As long if I can if I can keep these silver bullets alive, I can do some damage later in the game, and maybe if I can keep these free company militia up and shooting. You can see here, though, the Blood Knights are crumbling, and some of my handgunners come back, and so I'm going to get some nice shots into the back of these skeleton spearmen who are finishing off my free company militia. And over here, mostly just zombies, so that's kind of fodder. These skeleton warriors are dying as well. And you can see here, great thing for me. He pulls off his Blood Knights here to chase these guys, and he takes a almost full health unit of skeleton warriors with him. And they just go running off after my Amber Wizard. And so I'm going to take advantage of this and send Boris off to 1v1 Mr. Vlad von Karstein himself. And I think Boris can effectively win that pretty much all of the time. So this is really, really good for me. But he is going to realize his mistake, and he's going to start moving back here with his troops. And you can see, really my only hope here is killing Vlad. And so I realize if he gets his troops in here, I'm not going to win this. Like, I'm not going to be able to isolate Vlad, and they're just going to slowly eat me alive. So what I'm going to do is this nice blob of units. This is exactly what I want to net. I want to stop them from being able to support. So there you can see extended effect net on there is going to save the day here, allow Boris to keep fighting by himself. But I do allow my handgunners over here to get caught by these guys. But you can see my silver bullets still very healthy, shooting into these Graveguard. And with the help of the Amber Wizard, definitely with that charge, Boris is going to wipe the floor with Vlad. I probably should have been cycle charging, but I just kind of wanted to. I was so confident that Boris could win that I felt okay just kind of leaving him there. So here you can see they finally come back, but they finally get free, but it's too late. Once Vlad dies, there's really going to be nothing left on the field that can kill Boris, and that's going to shift everything in my favor. You can see here just how rapidly they're all going to hit critical binding and fall apart. My like ragtag group of Empire troops still alive. Yeah, and so you can see there, definitely a very close battle against the vampire counts. I definitely was not expecting those Blood Knights to come through the middle and just like wreck my front line. Did not see that coming. I think one of the things that worked really well for me was this Banshee coming through the lines. I managed to net Vlad, but the Banshee wasn't netted, and so that made the Banshee come through the lines, and then I was able to isolate it, and therefore Vlad was kind of left alone in the late game, where Boris could kind of just claw him to pieces. But you can see here, great kills on these Graveguard. I probably would have brought more of these guys, rather than these skeleton warriors, but he spent so much money on these cavalry. These guys really had to kind of pull more of their weight. But being able to just isolate them all in the middle and shoot them to death with my silver bullets and my handgunners really made it hard for them to be cost effective. And spending some of that Invocation of Nehek on the Banshee rather than the Blood Knights really helped me out. But yeah, really devastating, and I might try doing that the next time. They have the other player has a ton of the spear support in the back. Don't even bother going around, just charge straight in the front. You can see here he shut down my swordsman main line. All my heroes getting pretty good kills. My light wizard getting 31, probably on zombies. Yeah, my spearmen probably on zombies too. But these silver bullets here, and these guys mostly on crypt horrors, blood knights, and Graveguard. And the silver bullets took out the Banshee too, so definitely a critical unit here. And I definitely liked having them in the back where they couldn't be as easily isolated because of all that spear support surrounding them. But anyways, good game to my opponent, and that's that.